Good morning to all. In this section, we are going to see about guided transmission media. Transmission media generally means a medium through which any information can be transmitted from a source to destination. Generally, this transmission takes place in physical layer of OSI reference model, and this transmission medium can be categorized into two broad categories, that is guided transmission media and another one is unguided transmission media. Guided transmission media is one thing in which a physical wire is placed between a sender and the receiver. Hence, it is said to be as guided transmission media. In unguided transmission media, there is no physical wire between a sender and the receiver. Hence, it is said to be as wireless channel. In guided transmission media, that is wired channel, we have three broad categories of cables. One is twisted pair cables, the second one is coaxial cables, and the third one is fiber optic cables. Unguided transmission media, the transmission takes place through space or open air. Types of transmission media, as already mentioned, we have two types of transmission media. There is guided transmission media and unguided transmission media. In guided transmission media, as we have seen already, the main three categories are twisted pair, coaxial and fiber optic cables. Along with this, we have strip line and micro strip line. And in unguided transmission media, we have three forms of communication through air, that is radio waves, microwaves and infrared wave communication. Coming to guided transmission media, it is referred to as wired or bounded transmission media. Signals are being transmitted through a narrow pathway by using physical communication links. It has many features like we can transmit the data at very high speed, we can have a secured communication, and this procedure can be used only for shorter distance. There are three types of guided transmission media, and they are coaxial cables, twisted pair cables and fiber optic cables. This guided transmission media it's acting as a physical guide through which data signals are sent from the sender to the receiver. This media uses physical means to confine the direct propagation of signals, and this medium is used to transmit data from one device to another. This physical medium can be either twisted pair cable, coaxial cable or fiber optic cable. These types of guided transmission media includes magnetic media, twisted pair cables, coaxial cables and fiber optic cables. Magnetic media refers to a data storage device that is using magnetic properties to store and retrieve the data. The commonly used magnetic media is used in data storage such as hardware drives, tapes and floppy disks. Advantages and disadvantages of magnetic media is it can store higher storage, it has higher storage capacity and it has long term data retention. Disadvantages are slower data access speed and mechanical parts are prone to wear and tear. Next, coming to twisted pair cables, cables consist of pair of insulated copper wires twisted together. These types of wires are commonly used for telephone lines and local area network cables. This cables consist of two separately insulated copper wires twisted about each other, and such a pair of bundled together in this pair of wires are bundled together inside a protective shield. They are the most widely used transmission media, guided transmission media. There are two types of twisted pair cables. One is unshielded twisted pair and another one is shielded twisted pair. Unshielded twisted pair is common in Ethernet networks, and the shielded twisted pair contains shielding to reduce electromagnetic interferences. Advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are it is very inexpensive, easy to install. Disadvantages are limited bandwidth and distance, susceptible to electromagnetic interference. Unshielded twisted pair wire consists of two insulated copper wires twisted around one another. This type of cables has the ability to block interference and does not depend on physical shield for this purpose. It is used for telephonic applications. Advantages of unshielded twisted pair is it is least expensive, easy to install and has high speed capacity. Disadvantages include lower capacity and performance in comparison to shielded twisted pair, short distance transmission due to authentication. Shielded twisted pair cable consists of special jacket. This jacket is made up of copper bait covering or foil shield to block external interferences. It is used in fast data rate Ethernet and in voice and data channels of telephone lines. Advantages of twisted pair cables. Shielded twisted pair cables. It has better performance at higher data rate in comparison to unshielded twisted pair. It eliminates crosstalks and comparatively faster than unshielded twisted pair. Disadvantage of shielded twisted pair is it is comparatively difficult to install and manufacture. It is more expensive and bulkier. Coaxial cables consist of a central conductor, insulating layer, metal shield and an outer insulation. It is used in cable television, internet and broadband connections. Advantages of this coaxial cables are it can have higher bandwidth compared to twisted pair cables. It is more resistant to electromagnetic interference. Disadvantages are it is bulkier and harder to install than twisted pair cables. It is more expensive. Coaxial cable. Structure of a coaxial cable has an outer plastic covering containing an insulating layer made up of PVC or Teflon and two parallel conductors, each having separate insulated protection cover. The coaxial cable transmits information in two modes. One is baseband mode, that is a dedicated cable bandwidth, and a broadband mode, that is a cable bandwidth is split into separate ranges. Mostly this coaxial cables are used in cable TVs, analog television networks, and mostly coaxial cables are used for cable TVs. This is the structure of coaxial cables, where we have a metal braided metal conductor, insulator and a copper conductor. Everything is covered under a protective plastic layer. Advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are coaxial cables has higher bandwidth, it is easy to install. Coaxial cables are more reliable and durable, less affected by noise or crosstalks. Disadvantages are it is very expensive and must be grounded in order to prevent any crosstalks. As a coaxial cables has multiple layers, it is very bulkier. There is a chance of breaking the coaxial cable and attaching a T-joint by hackers. Next comes the fiber optic cables. This uses light to transmit data consisting of a core, cladding and a protective outer layer. The light pulses are transmitted and the transmission of light pulses makes it fastest and more reliable form of transmission medium. Advantages of this medium is it has very high bandwidth and speed. It is immune to electromagnetic interference. can cover long distance without signal loss. Disadvantages include it is very expensive, requires specialized equipment for installation and maintenance. Fiber optic cables are mainly used for where internal reflection of light through core can be made up of glass. The core is surrounded by less dense glass or plastic covering called the coating. It is used for transmission of large volumes of data. This cable can be unidirectional or bidirectional. The wavelength division multiplexer supports two modes, namely unidirectional and bidirectional mode. This is the structure of fiber optic cable, where we have an outer jacket, loose buffer, cladding and a fiber core. Advantages and disadvantages: it has increased capacity and bandwidth, it is less lightweight, less signal attenuation, immunity to electromagnetic interference, resistance to corrosive material. Disadvantages: it is difficult to install and maintain and high cost. Application of fiber optical cables are: it is used in medical purposes, in medical instruments, it can be used in defense purposes, for aerospace data communication, for communication, that is internet communication, industrial purposes, that is designing interior and exterior parts of an automobile. Stripline is a transverse electromagnetic transmission medium invented by Robert of the Air Force Cambridge Research Center in 1950. It is the earliest form of planar transmission line. It is used for conducting materials to transmit high frequency waves. It is also called a waveguide. This conducting material is sandwiched between two layers of the ground plane, which are usually shorter to provide electromagnetic interference immunity. Microstripline is a type of transmission medium used to carry high frequency signals commonly found in microwave and radio frequency circuit. It consists of flat, narrow conducting strip placed on the top of the dielectric material with a metal ground plane on the other side. This is a comparison of various guided transmission media. The first one is the magnetic media, has higher bandwidth, distance, it can be used for longer distance, cost is moderate and electromagnetic interference is low. Twisted pair cables has a very low or medium bandwidth, distance can be used for short and medium distance, cost is low and electromagnetic interference is medium. Coaxial cables has a medium bandwidth, distance it can be used for a medium distance, cost is medium and electromagnetic interference is high. Fiber optic cable, it has a very high bandwidth, distance very long distance it can be used, cost is also high and electromagnetic resistance to electromagnetic interference is also very high. Application of guided transmission media. Magnetic media can be generally used for taking up backups and storage in data centers, and twisted pair cables can be used for telecommunication networks and LAN. Coaxial cables can be generally used in cable TVs, broadband internet connections, and fiber optic cables can be used for long distance communication, high speed internet and data centers. To conclude, guided transmission media each have specific advantages and disadvantages depending upon the use case. Fiber optic provides the fastest and the most reliable service, but at the higher cost, while twisted pair and coaxial cables are often more affordable but limited in bandwidth.